right. Imagine that I am starting a company and I'm going to sell hamsters, okay? In order for me to sell hamsters, I need to figure out, first of all, what are my what's called fixed costs. Now, fixed cost means that, first of all, I need to get a cage for them, right? So that is not going to depend really on how many hamsters, because I'm going to get a really big cage. Then I'm also going to get a water bottle, right? So that I can, so they can drink. Then I will need litter for them. And then I also need to keep the electricity, right? So that, I can run the air conditioner for the hamsters and so on. And then maybe I would need to advertise my business. So that's going to take me time, or I will have to pay somebody to do that. All of that is not going to really depend on how many hamsters I'm going to have to sell, right? Or how many hamsters I will produce or keep in there. That's called the fixed cost. And then the variable cost is going to be how much am I going to have to spend per hamster. So per one hamster, for example, I will need to buy 1 ounce of food for each day that hamster is there, right? So what else is there? Well, water, I guess, is going to cost me, I don't know. But other than that, that's pretty much it. And that's going to be my variable cost, okay? Well, on the other hand, if a hamster gets sick, I might also have to take him to a vet, and that could be a cost. But all of that would be a variable cost, because that's going to depend on how many hamsters I will have, right? Okay, so the same thing happens in real business. Like in this case, we've got a company. So Oliver starts a company. He has a fixed cost of $1,060. That means that this is something that he has to pay regardless of how many items he's actually going to produce and sell. Okay, so if it's 1,060, that's called fixed cost. Okay, so this has no X attached to that. And then the variable cost is going to be how much per item. So let's say $46. And if you have X items, you're going to need to multiply that by X. That's your cost function. And it is linear, right? And this part is called variable cost. Now, the 46 itself in economics is called, so just this number without the X, that's called marginal cost. So that would be like cost per item. Okay? And let's just type that over here. So this is going to be 1,060 plus 46x. Now, the next question is saying, okay, how much is it going to cost me to produce 110 items? Okay, so that's going to be 1,060, because that's not going to depend on how many items, plus $46 per item. Okay, all I'm doing is just substituting this number in for X, okay, and then computing that. So let me just open Desmos. And I am going to have that. And in place of X, I'm going to put how many items. So that's going to be, total is $6,120.